Hello people, right? This is a very unexpected live, because you get those meditations, stuff you don't know, things just come to you. So I was sitting in meditation now, just for me, like just doing my meditation, and I got taken back to, wow, this is interesting. It was a quite interesting meditation. It's not your normal. Well, I've had lots of them, but not for a while. So I got taken back to, wow, let me just sit nicely. I would say Aztec. So what I got was, this is going back thousands of years. So I was in New Mexico, right? And what I got was, it was Aztec. And I was a man. I was in this being who was a man. So, how do I'm not even going to go into that detail, but let's just say this man who was a seer, a shaman, seer, like a priest, high priest in the Aztec. If you look at the old ruined civilization, it was a massive civilization, extremely big. A lot of it's underwater now. Big civilization. They had a huge, developed, very structured, civilization. And then they had what happened now, but what was worse, they hit the cycle. So many thousand years where it's flood, drought, heat, all this nonsense like we're going through, right? We've just started. People are not still getting it, they think it's a joke. So, not as bad as it was. And it was so interesting. This person who I now it was strange, being in this person, you actually, in his mind, you can actually become one with him. In a white robe, on like this pyramid thing, was guiding. It was his job as a seer to see, because he very much connected to the elements can be, and he was warning the people, we need to work together, we're going to have times of trouble, there's going to be fire, there's drought, there's going to be flooding. He foresaw all the stuff. They were going to be flooded and they had to move and whatever else. Anyway, people didn't listen. They didn't take it seriously. They didn't move in time, whatever. People didn't really listen to the advice of this priest, high priest, whatever it was, right? Anyway, we know there was a big delusion, all that sort of stuff. So I presume this is thousands of years ago, right? Anyway, so I'm like, well, why am I getting this? Well, what he was saying is that we can tell the people now, and the people now will listen. They didn't listen then, but the ones now, the humans now, whatever, will listen. So what he was showing me is like, okay, we're not going to go through as much, but yeah, we are going to go through, as I said, and I was going to make a short video about this yesterday on TikTok, actually, about the fire element. Certain planets that we are lined up with now are extreme. We're going to see extreme fire. Heat, fire, wind. It's a fire element, fire, wind. So I don't know if it's between now and 2025 we're going to get, like we saw now, not in the 19th century. We got 45 degrees in England, which is like unheard of. They've been in the 30s, but never got to this sort of temperature. You can go check history out. So we are going to see, people just laugh because they say, yeah, climate change, ha. We are going to have, no joke, climate change, serious climates, like you're going to see tornadoes, fires, droughts, rain, flooding, the ice melting, all the volcanoes going off and warming up the oceans. So all this active lava under the ocean, the tectonic plates, the volcanoes going off, are warming up the oceans. So this is also why your corals are going and the ice is melting everywhere. Yes. It won't be as bad, it'll be slow. But yes, of course it's melting. Look at Iceland. There's 3 active volcanoes under Iceland. Under Antarctica, there's so many under the ocean, and I've seen them. So what this person was showing me, and then the wind talked to me, the elements, which is so strange. It was like an old friend. Now I know because I've had, so I'm not even going to go into details. I don't know where you are on the spiritual path. But you have many aspects your higher self can embody. There's only now, so you could drop into many. One of those was, I've been an American Indian seer as well, where I used to become part with the wind, like run non-physical. So I had a very close relationship with the wind. I used to love running with the wind, like becoming one with the wind, and off I go, underwater. Anyway, so the wind spoke to me. So what I advise? No, I thought, can you imagine me trying to tell the government? The government know, by the way. And they've been trying to tell people. If you go look, I saw actually the government's website here, and they've changed their fire laws and so-called precautions recently. They have people, psychics and people exactly like us. They knew this was coming. But you've got also, another side causing trouble. They don't want this because they'll lose profit. Like big corporations are very anti this story because it's going to knock them. So there's a lot of skullduggery going on to divide humanity, playing with humanity, lying games and manipulating and whatever. But the government is aware there's shit coming. And then you've got one side that's feeding them rubbish, telling them, that's, anyway, let's not even go, it doesn't matter. People need to come, the advice from this being, right, whose name I got was Amoz, A-M-O-Z, I saw. That's what the thing that came to me. It was a big, strong man with a white, robe from Aztec times. I mean, whatever, before their deluge, right? Anyway, and the wind told me, the wind is willing we must work with the elements. The wind is willing to help us. So I don't know, you want to see this. I don't know how many people out there still can do this, practice, work with elements. I know there's one, Stefano something, the guy on Gaia TV. I'm sure there's a few indigenous people that still know how to work with elements and become one, and they will work with us. Obviously, you can't get people to change it quickly to start working with Gaia and the elements. So those, I suppose, that have that thing, they will probably be the elements, let's say, they can be maybe safe. All the farms around them can burn, but they won't burn. So for the fire, what I'm thinking, so I've seen, and I know that, and I warned people myself on my videos on Facebook a while ago, we're going to have big fires I've seen, nothing like you've seen before. I mean, Australia's like the last time. Australia lost thousands of animals. Expect that. We're talking about a fire which is going to wipe out half your country. Thousands of cattle and animals. I mean, so America, I saw Mexico, Australia, I think it was Botswana, Namibia. Anyway, so we're going to have droughts. So we're going to have this sort of troubled weather for a while. We're going to have, so it's a problem in some areas, as they say, and they're not lying. There's going to be issues to grow food in some areas. So it's going to be it's too wet. One's got too much rain. This one's got drought. Yes, we need to come together, and they've been trying to tell you, but they've got a lot of people causing trouble, trying to stop this. We need to come together as humanity, work together to get through what we're going to go through. It's like preaching there too, but anyway. So those with common sense, they're in leadership, and they know, they're going to ignore the rest of the nonsense going on out there, but they know this is going on. This is why we have the spraying, to try and cool off the planet, stop the sun. But anyway, we've got fire. And what came to me when I've said on my Facebook page is people with big cattle farms, and to save their houses, you need to bury all your pipes. So if you're farmers, anyway, especially if you've got forestry area around you, like pine and blue gum and things like that, that really burn very fast and high, or big farms, you're going to have fire. You need to bury your, because they will melt the heat. We're going to have extreme heat, and we're going to have fires. And the heat days, if you know those fires like in Australia, like you just saw on the news, and expect that. Bury your pipes, your water pipes and everything, they will melt and just dissolve and get too hot. Bury all your pipes, your irrigation things. What they can do to stop your house from burning down, which is almost, is, I've seen those steel pipes like they use in big farms, irrigation pipes, steel pipes, with a sprinkler thing. You can put them on the top of your house and down the sides, and you can just flood your house with water. But, you've got to have a massive clearing around your house anyway for oxygen. It forms a vacuum. You need to educate yourself with fire departments. Big farmers need to actually work with fire departments and educate themselves about fire, about the oxygen, about the lack of oxygen, about the heat, so they can prepare and really get organized. But what I'm saying is seriously, have sand. I mean, you need half a kilometer, half an acre of sand all around your house. Forget about your nice pretty garden or trees. Your cattle, what you can do is have one huge paddock, an acre or more than an acre. I don't know that. I'm just saying, I just don't want to see thousands of animals burned to death. It's unpleasant. Big cattle farms. This is what we're doing away with big farming, thank goodness. But anyway, there still is massive farms. This is what they've been doing for a long time, these big corporations. So you've got people with thousands of cattle, heads of cattle. So the only thing they could do is make one huge area. I mean, to be able to move the cows there in time is another problem, you see, because they've got so many cows, they're not going to be able to get their cows fast enough. But if you had one area, which is a big size land, which is completely cleared, pure sand, and you built up banks like a dam, so the sides, because the cattle are going to be frightened with big flame and heat. So you have big banks, you take your bulldozers and bank up, say 2 meter up all around. You've got a dam wall. and a narrow channel. So you herd your cattle into there in a big fire when your whole place is burning down. You've got your cattle in there. They're not going to see the flames. They're protected from too much heat and smoke. And then you can flood, make a little like moat. It's like you would say a castle. You need to make a moat around it. So to keep it cool and whatever. Anyway, that's all I can say. Then the element of wind will help. So people like us can work with the elements. They will help us as humanity. So the wind spoke to me. I know people are going to think, yeah, but anyway, never mind. We do this, I can do this, other people can do it. You can work with the elements and they will work with us. So the government, in their, let's say, hopefully it's not too many alpha male egos running around, but and people that are in a lower state, they don't, well anyway, depends where they are. They need to work with people like the shamans. People need to work together, like fire department, with farmers, the shamans, the people that work with the wind, and people like that. We work together. But we're going to see it, obviously, I know that. I've seen many, many things over time. But I don't know when and how, when the stages are going to happen, when they're going to happen. Which years, the next year, this year, 10 years, we've got this going to happen, that's going to happen. I know we're going to have. And people have also been fed nonsense that it's not made up. This climate change thing is not made up. This is a cycle. An extreme weather we're going to have on the planet has nothing to do with any cabal, any man-made nonsense whatsoever. This is absolutely natural elements, planetary alignments, energies, a shift and change. End of story. Yes, the polluting and nonsense and chemical, that's us. That's just air pollution we've caused. That's fair enough. Absolutely, we don't need any more air pollution and poison and chemicals and toxins and oil and gas and nonsense. It causes also massive problems with earthquakes, as they've now noticed. Fracking causes earthquakes and other, it's associated, if you look, there's a very close association with power. So yeah, power, understand there's another thing, water. What came to me, another thing that came to me in this thing was using the ocean. We have all this water, the ocean water, we need to use it. And I know people have come up with incredible desalination, instant desalination, which has been patented and put on a shelf. Someone bought the patent, as soon as they made it, big corporation buys it and shelves it because of profit. They don't want it. There is available, we need to use that water. Okay, we got to start using, we got so much ocean, we got the rising seas, and it is out there, the government needs to do something about this nonsense of buying up the patents and shelving it because of profit, economy, and all that money. Anyway, there we are. Water. Okay. You can even use salt water if you want to make moats. But all I can say, and I know people are not, look, of course there are going to be people that aren't going to listen, that aren't awake, that don't understand this and think you, whoa. And they're going to lose thousands of heads of cattle. They're going to lose homes. They're going to lose farms. You're going to see it. We're going to see it. That's just the way it is. So there we are. This message came to me. I was very appreciative, very interesting. Lovely being, very wise. Anyway, an interesting being, this being. Anyway, I don't know, I've been more than one life there. But yeah, and the wind. Just lifetimes I've had many long time ago. So it's good working with the elements. Alright, they will work with us, they will help us, and they're beautiful, I love them. But we got to start, more people started talking to the elements and being like to Gaia and giving thanks and working with the elements of water and the air and things like that. That's, you know what I mean? We will have more cooperation with them as well. And more people start doing this, and it's not hard to do. And a lot of people have had shamanic lives, they just don't remember, I suppose. They need to raise their frequency and vibration, and then they will have access to more past lives, or let's say other lives. They're not aware you can tap into any beings in any time and space. So there we are. Interesting. What else? Messages. Let me see what else I got. I was shown all this. I was showing him standing. I was amazing talking, addressing all this, and there was a lot of people. But they did not see it because it was slowly like this, like it's starting now. We've been in it in the last year or two. They don't see it. So a lot of people think, oh, climate change, a lot of nonsense. It's not a fear-mongering thing. It is coming, if you like it or not. It's coming. And it's got nothing to do with any man-made nonsense. Anyway, it's a lot of, there's other money, there's financial interest behind a lot of other things to cause trouble. I don't want this change because a lot of people are going to lose a lot of money. It's necessary. And it's only our ego that's frightened of change. So we are fighting everything because we don't like change. Our ego is terrified of the unknown. because it's used to reverting, it's a pattern it likes, that's why it keeps going back to the past. It's just people's ego, that's why they're making a big noise. Alright, I think that was it. The wind was happy to work. I'm so happy because I do love the elements. The elements are happy, we can help. Those of us that know how to work with the elements, at these times we are able to help. The government needs to start using people like this with the fire department. People like this that have these skills with the elements. Fire department, with the locals. And I suppose in a one way this is a part of the change, this big commercial farming nonsense, you know. Wow, the loss, the suffering to animals. I mean, that's just unpleasant. So yeah, okay. It's normal, those fires. Some places, you know, they have problems. We're going to see this heat. We're going to see tornadoes. I know that we've seen, a lot of us have had these visions of sea. We know it's coming. We know we're going to see big tornadoes. We're going to see rain. We're going to see flooding. We're going to see drought. We're going to see fires. We're going to see storm. This is the thing we're going through. Not big scare. He would deal with it as it comes. It's going to come in stages. It's not like it was. I don't know how many thousands of years ago this was, but it was more than 12,000 years ago. I got the feeling that we had this place, this Aztec, whatever it was, you know. Don't know, but it was a long time ago, and they didn't listen. They didn't. You see, you're used to the patterns of the weather. Had always been like that, just had mild change, but never drastically. So they never expected such a drastic change. And this is the same thing. People are like, oh no, it's just scaremongering. It's not scaremongering. Hold on to your horses because it's coming. It's just starting. We're starting to see the being. Okay. All right. But it's not a man-made thing. The air pollution is absolutely all the nonsense we're spraying in the air, the fracking, the pollution, the cars, the air. Bye-bye. No, not helping. We're not helping the elements. And they're not very grateful for that either, you know, Gaia. So yeah, anyway. There we are. That was interesting. Don't think there was anything else. Alright. We do. Let me think. Let me just ask him. Just trying to see if there's anything else. Thank you. And you know the most interesting thing was this being, when it finished talking to me, they're so able to change their physical form. You know, just got into a bird, poof, flew away, and I was like, huh? So next minute, it transforms into a bird and flies away, and I'm like, wow, okay, that was quite something. Anyway, as we're remembering more things, but it's amazing, lovely being inside other beings when you can actually be inside them and get a perspective from being them. That's amazing. I love that. Anyway, there we are. All right, lovely people. You never know. That's why I say meditation can be so interesting when you go on these things and you can travel in time, forward, back, wherever, you know, and the most interesting things. But mine are always, I've always asked for the greatest good for humanity. This is not for a purpose of scaremongering. It's for a purpose of getting people to understand, stop this nonsense, because you're being used by corporations and things who are paying people to scaremonger and cause trouble as well, you know, and Wall Street. So we were to stop this and stand together. Doesn't matter who, why, whatever people say, just leave your beliefs and together, because people are going to need help and support and love. And if we work together, you can help, you know, save farms, save animals, things like that. But it takes people pulling together as a community and stopping this division nonsense. All right, lovely people. There we are. Bye.